Do you want to learn effective ways to build relationships, generate sales, and grow your business from successful entrepreneurs, startups, and CEOs without listening to a long interview? If so, you've come to the right place. Gresham Harkless values your time and is ready to share with you precisely the information you're in search of. This is the IAM415 podcast.
Hello. This is Gresh from the IAM415 podcast, and I have two very special guests on the show today. I have Jeff and Jack of High Return Real Estate. Jeff and Jack, it's awesome to have you on the show.
Great to be here.
Yeah, excited, Gresh. Thanks for having us.
No problem. Super excited to have you guys on. And what I want to do is just read a little bit more about Jeff and Jack so you can hear about all the awesome things that they're doing. And Jack and Jeff co-founded a company called High Return Real Estate, specializing in turnkey investments, and are the hosts of the High Return Real Estate Show. They personally have a large property portfolio producing outstanding monthly cash flow returns. In addition to real estate investing, both Jack and Jeff have thriving multi-million-dollar businesses. Jack operates a multi-million nutrition company and distribution company, and Jeff a private consulting practice helping people realize their full potential in all aspects of life. Between them, they have an incredible experience and loads of entrepreneurial stories. Jeff and Jack, are you ready to speak to the IMCO community?
Let's do it.
Ready to rock.
Let's make it happen. So to kick everything off, I wanted to hear a little bit more about what I call your CEO stories and what led you guys to start your business.
Where do we begin, Shecky?
I'll let you start, Jack.
Yeah, Shecky's actually the CEO of our company. I guess I'm my president, or I don't even know what my position is. I get stuff done, right? So, but actually started buying up rental properties in the Indianapolis market about, I think it was 4 years ago, according to my Facebook time hop, right? That was when I went on my first investor tour there. And I just love the price to rent ratios were incredible comparative to my, home market here in Michigan and other markets that I looked at. So I realized quickly that, it makes more sense to live where you want to live, but invest where it makes sense financially. So a lot of times that isn't your backyard, especially for those on the coastal markets. Very difficult to get any type of cash flow returns. It's more of, appreciation and speculation and high risk type plays there. So started buying up property and getting awesome returns. And this was with our original provider. That's about the time that I had Shecky was my digital marketing coach actually for my nutrition company. Mm-hmm. And so I had hired him to do a consultation call for this new real estate endeavor. And so we're going through everything, and, he gave me, tons of awesome ideas. And I realized I didn't really have the skill set, organizational ability, or really the time to put them into play so that we could really scale the company. So that's when a few days later, I'm like, man, I need him as a partner, and he can, help him, scale up this company with me. So offered him a 50% equity position. And that was the best investment I ever made. I tell people all the time, being able to give up 50% of your company, your profits, but to be able to carve out a much bigger, piece of the overall pie and create systems that can be automated to help our company grow, it's just totally made sense. It's been an awesome partnership. We're able to, uniquely work through disagreements probably better than most married couples are. So not me and my wife, not saying that, although she'll never listen to this podcast. So, so we're safe. Saying I shouldn't. But anyways, and that's when Shecky came in and he helped really implement systems, processes, procedures. And it's been an incredible learning journey for us as we continue to try to dial in our company. We're on High Return Real Estate 4.0 right now, nice. Which means that 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, we had our challenges. Let's just put it that way. So Shecky, that's where you come in.
Yeah, well, thank you for all the nice things. I'll pay you later.
I know. Just give me some extra equity in the company.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know really what more to add to it, but I do agree that I think probably the key to us and our success is what Jack had alluded to, is just being able to communicate clearly through things and work through disagreements, and always really put the health of the company and our employees and our customers ahead of our own self-interests. And then as a result, our self-interests get taken care of. And it's been a wild ride. And we always joke around, had we known what we were getting into, we probably would have never even started the company. But yet now that we're moving into version 4.0, I'm grateful for where we're at. The lessons have been expensive, bloody, but in the end, really worth it. It's not always easy being an entrepreneur, as you can well imagine. I know you know that, Gresh, but here we are, right? So it's all good.
Exactly. And I could definitely speak to that as well. And I think a lot of times it's funny that you guys say you're on 4.0, because anytime I say anytime you're launching something and it doesn't go according to plan, just tell everybody it's 1.0, and there's different iteration coming outside of that. So it's great to hear you guys are always iterating, growing, and doing a lot better things.
Yeah. And it's hard. I mean, the only thing that's really been constant about our business is change. And it seems like, we're over 3 years now, actually. Right. And every 90 days, our business looks different. Right. Like the change is happening that fast. And I never would have imagined that when I first said yes to Jack, back in the middle of 2016. Like I just never would have even had any clue of what kind of ride we were going on or how many versions we would have. But, like I said, I'm happy for where we're at right now. And I'm really excited about the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And that kind of speaks to the whole idea of, the industries and technology and all those things are always changing. So you kind of have to evolve whether you want to or not. It's kind of really hard to just stay and do the exact same thing over and over again and end up being quote unquote successful in whatever you're doing.
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point, and I'm a firm believer that tech drives business. Mm-hmm. And some of the people that we had worked with in the past didn't necessarily see eye to eye on us on that kind of stuff, and that created some difficulties. And even Jack is, admittedly probably not the most technical guy in the world, and I've dragged him through that and said, "Okay, dude, it's not that hard. You're going to learn this stuff." And it's been good. He starts understanding that, technology can really help with automation and profitability and all that kind of stuff. So, when it's leveraged correctly, it can absolutely be your best friend. When it's not working, it can make you the most miserable person in the world. So, it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, the gift and curse of technology. So I know you guys kind of touched on it a little bit. Can you tell me a little bit more about, of course, your podcast, and tell me a little bit more about what you guys do for your clients?
Yeah, I can take this one, Shecky.
Sure.
So there's different versions of what people call turnkey real estate, right? So, it's very subjective or objective, whatever the case. But turnkey real estate is basically where you're delivering a fully rehabbed product to an end investor, where they don't have to do all the heavy lifting. Everything's already been figured out for them. They have got a property that's gone through an extensive rehab, a checklist. It's under great management, and it takes away a lot of the normal barriers to entry for a lot of busy professionals. Mm-hmm. So we get a lot of investors that, they're doctors, lawyers, business owners, entrepreneurs, and that's their lane that they should be in. Like, they shouldn't try to learn how to rehab and acquire a property and, learn property management and screening tenants and all the, moving parts that go into producing a cash flow property. They'd be much better served to focus on what they do best, increase their earning power and their skill set in their line of work, and let other people that know what they're doing focus on what they do best and just buy a performing asset. So, look, at the end of the day, we provide that product. Now, it's, as Shecky's alluded to, it's changed and it's gone through different kind of versions. We started off with a partner who did everything. All we did was sell. They did all the rehabs and the acquisitions and the property management, and they let us down completely. They let us our investor base down to a very high degree. So then we found ourselves taking all of that on, the acquisitions, the rehabs, and then we got a third party management, and then we went to in-house property management, and now we're settled on a company that does that has 10,000, 20,000 doors around the country, that has systems and technology that the smaller property management companies just don't have the resources to be able to, develop. So that way, Shecky and I, we can focus on what we do best: marketing, sales, and now our new area of expertise is how to, rehab a property to a high quality standard. So, yeah, we're, if you sort it all down, it's basically an investor is buying a stream of income from us, and what they don't often understand is that there's so much more to it that they're able to buy in terms of tax advantages of buying, rental property. So we're evolving into that level to where now we're educating them on all the different facets of entity protection and, tax tax savings and all of that stuff. So they have a whole integrated approach.
That makes perfect sense. And I think that I love the fact, because a lot of times we have our zones of geniuses, so to speak, where we have our lane of things we do best, whether, like you mentioned, we're an entrepreneur, a doctor, a dentist, whatever that might be. And, you see HGTV, you see everything from, breaking down everything and building it back up. And you're like, there's no way I want to do that. But I'm glad you guys kind of, you touched on that, because a lot of times we don't understand that there's different ways you can be and invest in real estate, it sounds like. And definitely those turnkey solutions allow you to stay in your zone of genius, but at the same time, still be able to be a real estate investing without having to like rehab something from, cradle to grave, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you might have already touched on this too, but I wanted to ask you guys for what I call your secret sauce. And this could be for you personally or your business, but what do you feel kind of sets you apart and makes you unique?
I think for us, really, we see a lot of, in our industry, man, and I don't want to put a black eye on the industry, because there are some good players, but within the world of real estate, especially in terms of rehabs and property management and things like that, there is lots of opportunities to cut corners. So what we've just said is, like, we're just going to always put the investor first. No matter what the situation, if we screwed up, we're going to own up to it. If we've got to put more money into a property, we've just done that. We've always done what's best for our investors. And, it's created situations on many deals that are not profitable or even losers in some case. But what's happened as a result is we have a pretty loyal client base. And, reputation is everything.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And I wanted to switch gears a little bit, and I wanted to ask you guys for what I call a CEO hack. And this might be an app, a book, or a habit that you have, but it's something that makes you guys more effective and efficient.
Well, I think, personally, working out most mornings is a huge, part of having, just a clear mind, and also like just having energy to attack your day. From a business perspective, I think team meetings are, very important. That's every single Wednesday, we have our team meeting, and we all come together and on a Zoom call just like this. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they're 2 hours, longer sometimes.
Exactly. So now I wanted to ask you guys for what I call a CEO nugget. And this is a word of wisdom or a piece of advice, or if you can hop into a time machine, what would you tell your younger business self?
I think what I would tell myself is, you're going to have to be tougher than you think. I think that there are a lot of entrepreneurs. I mean, I've started other companies, and believe it or not, I was young once too. And I've had many situations where it's like, shit, this is too hard. Like, I don't want to do this business. I had this fantastic idea, and I got started, and I did something for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Like, this is just way harder than I want to do. So I'm just going to scrap the project. And I think there's a lot of that goes on, especially in that world of, especially now with everything online, the make money online world, or, whatever. It's like, you can be a gazillionaire too. And there's so much marketing that pushes that sort of stuff. Right. But the sad part about it is not much of it talks about really the dark underbelly, is that you're going to have a lot of mental fortitude. And it's, the old saying about it's going to take twice as long and cost twice as much. What if it took 10 times as long and cost 10 times as much? Because that's the position we're in right now.
Absolutely. That makes perfect sense. I wanted to ask you my absolute favorite question, which is the definition of what it means to be a CEO. And we're hoping to have different quote unquote CEOs on this show. So what does being a CEO mean to you guys?
Well, I guess I'm taking that one, since apparently I'm the CEO.
I guess so.
What it means is being a good, like Jack said, a good communicator. It also means showing kindness and compassion. But again, always making decisions that are the best for everybody other than yourself, and to say, okay, what's best for our company? What's best for our employees? What's best for our customers? I think when you operate from that standpoint, you can, no matter what niche you're in, you can create a very, very successful. So right, let's just say it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to create a very successful company. It means you're going to be running a company correctly from that paradigm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I definitely appreciate that perspective, and I appreciate your time even more. So what I wanted to do is pass you guys the mic, so to speak, just to see if there's anything additional you can let our readers and listeners know. And then, of course, how best they can get a hold of you, subscribe to your podcast, and hear about all the awesome things you guys are doing.
I think, the biggest piece of advice I can give your listeners is that, it's so important in today's day and age, where we have a company like Blockbuster, for example, that was a multi-billion-dollar company. And within 4 years of that, ceased to exist, right? Like, how is that even possible that that could even be fathomable, right? And never before in history was that ever possible that could happen that quickly. Usually it takes a period of 100 years for a company like that to, be disrupted and go out of business. And even then they have opportunities to pivot and change and grow. So right now it's so important to have multiple streams of income, because you could have something that's going really, really well, and within a year it's disrupted and you're out of business. And with technology and advances. So with real estate, it's something where rental properties, they're going to be here 50 years from now, 100 years from now. People will always need a place to live, roof over their heads. That's never going to change. So by investing into real estate, the way Shecky and I looked at it is, look, we're entrepreneurs. We have ups and downs and swings in our income. We need something to diversify, create another stream of income that is going to be very difficult to disrupt. So I encourage everybody to look at, whether it's with us or whoever, that may be, that's your preferred trusted provider.
Our company is called High Return Real Estate. It's spelled just like it sounds. So our website's highreturnrealestate.com, and our podcast is called The High Return Real Estate Show. And if you want to find us or communicate with us, there's contact forms on the website, and we're very easy to find.
Perfect. So we'll also have the link and that information in the show notes so that everybody can follow up. But I appreciate both of you for all the awesome things you're doing, and of course your time and everything you're doing. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the day.
Thank you for listening to the I Am CEO podcast, powered by Blue 16 Media. Tune in next time and visit us at IAM415.co. I Am CEO is not just a phrase, it's a community. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and everywhere you listen to podcasts. Subscribe and leave us a 5-star rating. Grab CEO gear at www.ceogear.co. This has been the I Am CEO podcast with Gresham Harkless. Thank you for listening.